Hi, this is Jay Newnum with Foxwoodslive.com here on the first day of the Foxwoods December Mega Stack main event. We're at our second break of the day. Blinds are about to go to 200, 400 with a $50 ante. Very special guest with me once again, Mr. James Wood. How are you, sir?
All right, how you doing, Jay? Good to see you again. We had a great interview last time, and it got lost in the ether somehow. So
it's actually out on the internet somewhere. There's absolutely no sound. It's the best interview. I kid you not. It's the best interview I've ever done. Funniest interview I've ever done.
Right.
You were great, and no sound whatsoever.
Yeah. Usually when I'm succeeding, it's in the dark. It's like when you flop a quads, and five guys who would call you with any two cards you're bluffing with, don't remotely call you, of course, when you have a big hand.
Exactly. Well, let's talk a little bit about this. You're playing the main event. How's things going so far? A little slow for you, but
it's one of those things where you have some guy, like I had a guy to my left sort of targeting me in the beginning. Very good player, by the way, nice guy. But, no matter what I'd bet, he'd kind of raise and put pressure on. So now all of a sudden you're down to, it starts with 40,000. Now you're down to 32K or 28K or something on a couple of bad hands, or the guy sucks out or something. And, it's fine. And then I just got ground down to almost nothing. And luckily tripled up in a hand. But again, they put a lot of pressure on the small stack, so it's hard to play small stack. I mean, I'm pretty good at it because I play a lot of tournaments online. And, of course, online you can sit there and be reading your Kindle, wait till, moving day and then, do all your action. But here, boy, it's long and brutal to be sitting with a short stack against a bunch of bluffers and raisers. It's just hard.
Right. And do you find that people tend to try and call you down, try to beat you in a pot because you are James Woods?
I think, yes, that does happen. And as a couple of good professional poker player friends of mine, like Kenny Tran, said to me, well, if they're going to keep calling you all the time or raising you all the time, why don't you just oblige them with the nuts? So, yes, you would think that would be a good thing. People say that's a good thing, but I'll give you a perfect example. Even if you tell them, like, you can't say what your hand is in a tournament, but last time people say, why don't you play in the World Series? I said, the last time I played in the World Series, I played two hands. I had kings in the first level, doubled up. I'm playing tighter than, a nun's conscience, okay? And the next thing I know, I get black aces on the button. First to act, I raise, small blind folds, big blind, re-raises. And I said, dude, look, I know you got ace-king, like ace, I said, I will tell you this. I'm going to go all in. I have this superstition about people calling because they're calling against me. So, well, I can always say I lost to James Woods. I've heard that 5,000 times. I said, okay, but you don't want to make this call because the other thing I know is you have a red ace with your ace-king. I will bet my soul against the dime that you have a red ace. How would I know that? So just don't call me. Of course, I want that call. Right. You ordinarily do want that call, except that this guy. So I go all in. He snap calls, turns over ace of diamonds. What a surprise, and king of spades. The flop comes. Queen, Jack, 10 in order. He flops right away, of course, and he goes, I knew it. And I said, you knew what? That you're going to be promoted to, your professorship of Donk University? It's like, how can you, how can you just not apologize for saying, hey, I wanted to be in a hand, look what happened, sorry, I knocked you out,
Now, speaking of donkey, you were actually called a donkey today.
Yes.
By who?
Well, my girlfriend tends to think it's actually, I got to say, honestly, she said, you're a donkey. I have to watch you donk off your chips all the time. And I have to, there she is. I hear a voice chastising me. But I have to say, seriously, she's right. In some ways, in cash games, I try to be like a little clever, especially if I play at too low a stakes. I get a little bored and I start splashing chips around. Right. And actually, it did help me. I have to say, she was kidding. I mean, she wasn't. She got penalized for being a ruffian at her table. She smacked some guys around or something. No, I'm kidding.
Calls you a donkey. Gets a one-orbit penalty.
It gets a one-orbit penalty, and she deserves it. They must have known. No, she accidentally showed her cards when she thought the hand was over. Right. And everybody at the table said, don't be ridiculous, but they penalized her. Anyway, she called me a donkey, so I decided to play really tight, and it hasn't actually worked out at all. So I'm going back to being a donkey right now.
Well, real quick, what you got going on in the show?
I just finished I just finished an HBO movie called Too Big to Fail, Andrew Sorkin's book about the fall of Lehman Brothers, and we still have, of course, Straw Dogs, the remake in the can for Screen Gems. So it's a pretty good year, and I'm about to start. Whoop.
All right, go play. Go. Okay. Good seeing you, Jimmy.
Take it.
All right.
Rise hat.
Take it easy. Good luck.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks again. That was James Woods getting back to the table real quick. Thanks again to Rise Clothing, hooking Jimmy up with some stuff. With James Woods, I'm Jay Newnum, Foxwoodslive.com.